Hey friends, this is Jordan with O & Co Games. We're a tiny team working on a precision platformer called Tethergeist. We are getting close to the final few months of development on this game, and man, it has been a long journey. It's been 4 years since we started working on this game, and 2 years since we released our very first devlog about it. It's been an emotional ride, from meeting some of our heroes at PAX West, to launching a successful campaign on Kickstarter, to having a successful Next Fest, to chatting with all of you guys here on YouTube, all while dedicating everything we can to understanding our players and creating an authentic, distinctly human gaming experience. It's been exciting, exhausting, terrifying, fulfilling, and everything in between. We have poured so much of our hearts into the story, the art, the music, the sound, and the gameplay of Tethergeist, and so have our hundreds of playtesters. This is more than just a project to us now. It's an expression of our passion for the creative process, a love letter to scrappy indie teams making games they want to make. Honestly, if I kept going, I'd probably start tearing up, so I'll just get on with it. Oh, and go wishlist Tethergeist with the link below if it looks like a game you'd enjoy. Anyway, we have some super exciting news to share with you guys. After months of searching for the right publisher, we've actually found something arguably better than a publisher, at least specifically for us. This last week, we've officially signed a partnership deal with ARGF, also known as Almost Ready Games Fund, and the people we're working with at ARGF are just fantastic human beings. ARGF is comprised of Bengen, the CEO, and co-founders Harlis and Shens, and chances are you're pretty aware of some of the games they've worked on. When we first heard back and jumped on a call with them, we immediately got the warm fuzzies. They had played Tethergeist, they absolutely loved it, and they went on to show it to tons of people at Arrowhead Studios who also loved Tethergeist as much as they did. Throughout the whole introduction conversation, they were so kind, professional, and just transparent about what they'd be providing and what they'd be expecting. We knew pretty immediately these were people we would be honored to work with. So you're probably wondering, what exactly does a partnership with ARGF look like? Well, similar to publishers, they provide funds upfront to cover development and marketing costs, and they'll set up a net revenue share model to ensure they recoup their investment. But unlike a traditional publisher, they don't take equity, and you, the developer, keep the IP, publishing rights, and creative ownership. They just require that you are less than 6 months away from releasing your game, that you have a playable build, have a plan for marketing, and have a plan for how you want to launch your game. So rather than sort of taking over, they instead are like coaches with deep pockets who not only provide funds, but also provide direction to help us make the best decisions we can with the money provided. They have tons of experience in the industry, and naturally also have tons of connections with marketing firms and localization companies throughout the entire world. I can confidently say that with them as partners, we are now going to be able to reach so many more people worldwide than we ever could have reached on our own. And we'll be specifically reaching the right people, that is, players in our target audience, people who enjoy challenging precision platformers. So before we even had a draft of a contract, we worked directly with Bengen and Harlis to determine the right amount of funds we wanted to request and what we'd be doing with those funds. We landed on a number we all felt good about, and we talked a lot about our launch strategy. We decided together that we really wanted to sim ship Tethergeist in 6 different languages and on Nintendo Switch right when we release it. We feel good about Switch specifically because the Switch 2 is backwards compatible, getting a dev kit for Switch 2 is super hard right now, and GameMaker is already built for porting to Switch. Not to mention there's just a wonderful player base on the Nintendo that we want to be able to reach. So many Switch players love 2D platformers, and we want to be sure we get Tethergeist to them as soon as we're able to. Then, of course, we'd continue to localize to more languages and launch on other consoles after the initial release. There are also a lot of other details in relation to our marketing and launch strategy that I don't need to get into right now. Suffice it to say, there's just a lot of other things we'll be taking into consideration to help us find our players and to help our players find us. We ultimately just want to get Tethergeist to people who will love playing it as much as we've loved making it. Now, landing on our launch strategy was an integral part of our engagement with ARGF. Obviously, since they are investing hard cash into Tethergeist, they want to do everything they can to help it succeed, and coming up with this strategy together is one of the key ingredients to a successful launch. So with that strategy in place and our funding amount agreed upon, ARGF wrote up the contract, we read through it like 50 times, and we had a legal professional review it with us. Whenever we had any questions, ARGF always answered quickly and transparently, and when we all felt good about it, we signed it. Just like that. So it's official, and we now have some of the greatest indie devs in our corner helping us to make this dream a reality. They've been around the block a few times, they already feel like close friends at this point, and by golly, they know how to make games. So we're just super excited all around. Anyway, that about wraps everything up for this video. I realize the last couple of devlogs now have been more about the business than about the game development and design process, so while I'm absolutely over the moon about ARGF, I'm also really excited to get back into talking about the creative process of making Tethergeist in the next devlog. That is what we are so passionate about after all. Now, if Tethergeist looks like a game you'd enjoy, we would be honored to have you head over to Steam, play the demo, and drop us a wishlist. And of course, if you want to stay up to date on our progress, be sure to subscribe here on YouTube. We also have a Discord server where you can chat with us directly, give us feedback, send us a digital high five, or just hang out with our awesome community. All of the links you'll need are in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.